All right, weddings. Know anybody who's getting married this summer? This is the time you start, you've probably already got the invitations. You start making plans to head over to weddings of friends, loved ones, and enjoy. And one of the big things about a wedding is the photography. It is crucial because really what it's doing is capturing the essence of the day for you to look back over 1 year, 2 years, and then 2 years, hopefully many years. And joining us this morning to talk about it, wedding planner Nicole Turcotte of Down the Aisle. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And Michael Wachniak and Angela Hubbard, both photographers. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Is it weird to be on the other end, like sitting there?
Yeah, a little bit.
I know when you're in charge of capturing people or talking to the people, it seems odd to be on the flip side of it. So thanks for coming in this morning. Nicole, let's just talk about photography and what brides and grooms should be looking for when they're trying to book a photographer, plan who their photographer is going to be.
Yes. Well, the photography tends to almost be one of the first things that people are booking now, sometimes even before the venue or their wedding planner.
Really?
Because what's so important is the connection with the photographer. And in order to have really great photos and feel so comfortable in front of the lens, you want to make sure that you're connecting with the person behind it. So oftentimes, brides are interviewing 2, 3, sometimes 4 photographers and really finding the one that has a really great fit for them.
Wow. Michael, is that what you've experienced, Michael? People sort of make you audition?
Actually, yeah, and I mean, I think it's fantastic. You want to find somebody that ultimately you can trust, that you want to be able to enjoy your day and know that they're taking care of everything. And I mean, by having the interview, you get a chance to know them on a personal level, and you can enjoy your day and let them do their thing.
I bet both of you have crazy stories, though. Angela, how many bridezillas have you run into? Lots or not too many?
No, I've been pretty good. My style is a little bit different because my background is in music photography, so the people that are looking for me are looking for a very photojournalistic, not really posed kind of photography, so it's a little bit different.
Well, that's a good thing. Let's talk about styles, because I am blown away by how wedding photography has transformed over the last decade or so. It's really become much more like the pictures we're used to seeing in magazines. Is that something you're trying to do, Michael?
Yes and no. I ultimately would love to have a beautiful way of showing the entire day. It's nice to have a beautiful photo of the bride and groom, but ultimately it's a celebration, and it's not just about the two of them. It's about bringing the families together, having a celebration, and being able to see the story and come back to it years down the road.
All right, well, you guys have both sent us a whole bunch of pictures. Well, Nicole did all the legwork. She sent us a bunch of pictures of both of your work. So let's go through them, because I think each of these, tells a story and also describes for our viewers what your specific styles are. But I'm interested to know how much input you get from brides and grooms and how much you are really guiding the photo. So, Angela, this is your picture. I'm assuming this is all you.
For me, I really like all the details. Brides spend so much time going and getting their specific florist, and little details like that girl had a bracelet from her grandma. So much money goes into the dress and the makeup artist and everything that goes into the day. So I really like getting detailed shots.
And look at that. That's one of them, right? That's
beautiful.
Is that a family heirloom that she's wearing or something?
No, that's a beautiful Elsa Corsi. I do a lot of brides with her jewelry. She's an amazing jewelry in Vancouver.
Interesting. That's cool. And I love that shot. Different angle. Like a few years ago, you wouldn't have done that angle, or would you? We wouldn't have seen it in sort of stereotypical wedding photos.
Well, for me, it's very important to have a bride make a list of all the special people that were, at the wedding and in the wedding, and especially their bridesmaids, because it's usually their closest friends and cousins and relatives and things like that. Yeah.
All right, well, we've got lots of photos from Michael as well, so they're going to pop those up on the screen and we can have a look. What do you have? How do you describe your style, Michael? If if a bride's saying, "What's your style of wedding photography?"
I almost think that I don't really have a style, to be honest with you. I try to just capture the moments happening during the day. I try to get as many different angles as I possibly can. I want to be able to get real moments. Obviously, that.
But look at that! Like, that is not a typical wedding photo.
No.
I love it.
We actually, for that one, we had just a few moments to take photos of the groom, and I found beautiful light, and I said, you know what, if you're going to get ready, please get ready over here, and having that relationship with brides and grooms where they just sort of trust you. You know, make me look good is what they want to have. So.
But I mean, that looks to me like an ad for a high-end men's fashion, right? Burberry could have done that shot. I think that's
I
so
hope he's
cool.
watching. He'd love to hear that.
You're available for hire, right? Yeah. Nicole, what are brides and grooms' worst fears when it comes to wedding photography? What are they worried about?
Well, again, going back to being comfortable in front of the camera, I think a lot of them are worried that they're not going to look good on film. So that's a big concern. So why we push really making sure that you have that good connection is so that you're comfortable. You're not worried about, you know, how am I looking? But I want to see that picture right away. And also, I think they're also worried about missed moments. You know, that there are certain things in their day that aren't going to be captured. And when you're working with a photographer such as these two who have been in the industry for a long time, have shot thousands of weddings, you know, they're really good at making sure they're capturing all of those moments outside of just the couple.
Right. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more on how to choose a wedding photographer. We're going to talk to Michael about going from digital back to film, and with Angela about the trips she gets to take where she goes to photograph weddings. We'll be right back. Welcome back to AMBC. We're talking wedding photography with Angela Hubbard, Michael Wachniak, and wedding planner Nicole Turcotte. Let's go through some more photos because, you know, you talk about capturing the whole day and everybody. You don't work individually? Do you have assistants? Do you bring other photographers? I mean, how does one person capture an entire wedding?
I absolutely bring an assistant, if not two, to a wedding, only because it's nice to get a different angle, or when I'm getting ready with the bride, someone else could get ready with the groom, and we either trade off, or if they're in separate locations, we can't be at one location at the same time, so that's essential for me.
Yeah.
For me, I find that having a second photographer, just for that reason, you can't be in more than one place at the same time. Having said that, though, I find that I move around a lot, quite a bit throughout wedding days, so I don't think that I miss, aside from those moments where you can't be in the same place more than once. I find that I don't miss anything.
No. Now, digital was great for us regular folk because we can see immediately that we've taken a good shot or we've taken a bad one and delete. But Michael, I understand you've recently gone back to film.
I have.
Why?
Well, first of all, just to go back a little bit, I went back into film about 2 years ago for my birthday. I asked for an old vintage film camera, and I wanted to do it just for personal use. It didn't come with a manual. I had no idea how to use it. And then the first few rolls, you know, all the images were garbage, but they all felt. I had a connection with every single image. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll bring it into weddings, or I'll bring it into paid sessions, but I'll make sure that I had a digital image, and then I had maybe a backup image on film. And I found that the more film images that I was taking, the more me that these images, I just felt that they were more
artistic,
more,
really.
Well, more artistic.
More essence of...
Yeah, more kind of a tangible, nostalgic feeling and whatnot. So then I started bringing it into weddings, and fell in love with it. My clients fell in love with it, and here I am.
Excellent. Angela, you prefer digital? You like working with digital?
My background goes back about 20 years, so I started in film, and I love the romantic feeling that film does, but a lot of my clients want the instant results.
Yeah.
It's a lot more work for me now because I used to go and give the lab my film and then come back a couple days and get a little present, but now it's more me and my computer sitting and editing, but I also have more control over my images too, which I really like.
Do you, Angela, have a favorite wedding memory, a favorite one you've done recently that you can describe?
I've been so blessed to do so many different weddings. I've done a wedding at Frank Sinatra's house in Palm Springs. I've done several local weddings. I've traveled a little bit with photography, which has been wonderful.
Did I hear Nicole say you worked with Rolling Stone?
I did. My background is in music photography, so I've been lucky to...
So who's easier to take pictures of, weddings or rock stars?
Well, when I first started that transition, I was like, how is this going to work? You know, I photograph musicians and I photograph weddings, but it's actually really good because my style is very photojournalistic. I capture the moment as it happens. So when I'm photographing,
so it's not staged and
exactly.
I think that's probably what more people want, just really to capture who they are. But they want it up to a certain standard. You know, they don't want hokey, hokey pictures.
Yeah.
Ballpark me prices. I'm not going to ask you two to talk about what you cost, but for a budget for planning a wedding, what are couples looking at?
It really ranges on the photographer, and but for a very established photographers where they have a lot of experience in the industry and you're getting a true professional, you should be budgeting a minimum of about $5,000, $4,000 to $5,000.
And then what do you get out of that?
Well, you're getting, these two can probably speak to it more than I.
Sort
but
of at the end of the day, it's funny, right? Everybody wants the package. So what's the package? Do I get 2 8x10s? And
yeah, well, you're getting...
Or is that just the prints and then you have to go pick through and, I mean, just the negative, so to speak, and then go back and pick the prints?
Again, it varies, but usually there's an engagement shoot included. Oftentimes you'll get a certain number of hours on the wedding day with your photographer. Sometimes there are albums included at different price points and levels, because you can have a very basic album up to extremely deluxe, gorgeous pieces of art. And then the photographers can also do canvas work, print work for you. There's so many different things depending on what the client wants, but really for that price, what you're getting is a professional behind the camera.
Well, you're getting
who is
an artist.
Capturing your memory.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not somebody with the little Instamatic or the, I love the idea of, remember when the big thing to put on the tables at the reception was the little disposable cameras.
Disposable cameras.
But they were, this way and Uncle so-and-so falling over.
Yeah,
I mean, cute, but, not what you kind of want. Yeah.
For the budget, you really, this is your only memory that you get to take from your wedding.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure that, for a lot of people, it is one of the most important pieces of the day, because it's the only thing that they get to tangibly take away from it.
Right. And for a lot of couples, that day just goes by in a blur, right? It's just so intense that, yeah,
it flies right by. It is, you think how long you spend planning and organizing everything, and it just goes by in the blink of an eye. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. It's been awesome talking to you. Yeah, I'm not getting married anytime soon, but if I was, I know where I'd be going. I'd be hiring both of you just to get the, two different feels. And thanks for sharing your photos. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jill.
All right. Stay tuned. Lots more coming up here on AMBC. We'll be right back after this.